On the 31st of December 2020, Sage will be withdrawing the Sage Financials service. This means you will have no access to your Sage Financials data. Not for your auditors, not for VAT inspections. Sage have produced an article to show you 12 steps to back up your data. What you end up with is 150 CSV files and a bunch of PDFs and zero chance of navigating your data. The Sage Financials Cloud Archive provides a much better solution. So let's see how it works. Sage Financials is a managed app, and with its 150 objects, it sits on the Salesforce platform. The Sage Financials Cloud Archive is also a managed app with 6 objects, which we install onto your Salesforce org. On top of that, we install the Archive Builder, and the Archive Builder copies the data from Sage Financials into the archive. Then we uninstall the Archive Builder, and you can uninstall Sage Financials, leaving your data in the archive. Let's have a look at the archive data. The transaction object holds invoices and credit notes, but also journals, and manual adjustments entered as ledger entries. Let's have a look at a sales invoice. We copy across all the vital data from Sage Financials, including the transaction type, the invoice number, the date, the money, the account, etc. Scrolling down, we can see the transaction line items. And again, we've got all the vital information here. Back to the transaction, you can see that as well as the data, we've brought across the files linked to it. Scrolling down through the details, you can see the ledger postings. This is a sales invoice, so we debit the control account, credit the revenue account and the tax account. Let's have a look at the data in the ledger item. Again, lots of detail, including links to the ledger account, the customer, and back to the transaction. And if you've used dimensions for analysis, that's included in the archive as well. All this data is stored in standard Salesforce custom objects, so you can change the layouts, use the Salesforce navigation, and create your own reports. However, we've also created some standard reports. The age reports are retrospective, so let's have a look at the age creditors at the end of the 2018 financial year. We can see the total creditors is £3,586.80. Let's have a look at the trial balance for the same period. And we can see the creditor control account matches the aged creditors. These are only normal Salesforce reports, and all we are doing is setting up the filters. This means that if you spot a figure that doesn't look quite right, you can use the standard Salesforce drill down feature to get more detail. This shows the numbers that make up the figures, and you can navigate into the transaction for more detail, including the invoice PDF. This invoice has 0 outstanding, but how was it paid? If you scroll down to the transaction links, you can see the sales invoice was paid with a customer receipt on the 30th of June. And you can navigate into that customer receipt to see the detail. In another example, we can see the credit note was netted off using an allocation journal. Another useful report is the VAT detail. You choose the submission period you want to report on. The report is grouped by tax rate and shows the transaction items with net, tax, and gross. And of course, you can go to the transaction to see more details, including the actual invoice PDF. So that's the demo done. How do the commercials work? We're offering a service so you can finally draw a line under Sage Financials. We install the archive, we migrate the data, we validate the archive, and we uninstall Sage Financials for you. You do need a Salesforce license, but there's no ongoing cost from us. What you're left with is your own data sitting in your own Salesforce. For pricing details, please see our website, and thanks for watching.